Hi everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the US, and I'm here to bring you another live paper crafting class, and I'm so excited. Today is a special day. We have a transition going on. We are leaving the current catalogs, the 2019 Occasions catalog and the 2018 through 19 annual catalog. This is the last day to order anything that will be leaving from there. They call them last chance products. And tomorrow, hopefully by noon Mountain Time, the new catalog will launch. And it might be before noon Mountain Time, who knows? But they want us to let people know that they have until noon Mountain Time to post all the new products in the online store. The new catalog will be, of course, starting then. So exciting. Hey, Tiffany's with us. Hi, Tiffany. Good to see your name pop up again. And there's LaDawn. Good morning. Kathy, how are you? Wonderful. And Sandy's with us again from Wisconsin. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining. I'm glad that you're really joining because it's not my usual day. This is Monday. Monday, what is it? June 3rd. And I'm broadcasting today not because of the transition into the new catalog, but because we have a garage sale coming up here at our house, and I involve my Stampin' Friends, demonstrators, customers, and so I know I'm excited about the new stuff too, Nicole. But so that's beginning Wednesday, and there's no way that I would be able to leave my garage and come in and do a Facebook Live on that day. It is crazy. It's wall-to-wall people for at least the first couple hours. And yeah, I don't think I breathe until about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the first day of the sale. Hi, Don. Good to see your name pop up again. I know, Monday. I'm surprising you all. Sorry about that. But again, garage sale is pretty important here at our house. So the garage is filled. It's crazy. There's lots of good stuff there. Okay, so because we're transitioning into a new catalog, and this video won't post on my blog and on YouTube until Saturday, I'm not showing any old, last chance stuff anymore. We're done with that according to this video. We're just diving into the new stuff. Yes, now I have to remember how to say your name. Just yes, oh, I don't know how to say it. Anyways, just Yessie is how I'm seeing it. Good morning from, she's in Germany, although it's afternoon there. Okay, so let's go first to my desktop because I want to share with you the new catalog and what it looks like. If you did not get a copy of the new catalog because either one, you are not a demonstrator, or number two, you do not have a demonstrator, then contact me and let me know. I know there's one gal who we've been having some mailing issues, Jacqueline, and I just messaged her again today. We're having address issues, so hopefully she can reach me and let me know if that is something that has arrived yet to her or not. This is the new paper that I'm going to demonstrate with today. This is called Woven Threads. Is it not pretty? Now it's featuring the new In Colors. So we have on here, gosh, let's see if I can remember how to say them all. There's Terracotta Tile, which is the orangey color. There's a pink color in there called Rococo Rose. The blue one, which is what I'm going to focus on the most today, is called Seaside Spray. And then there's a purple, it's kind of a pinkish purple, a very light pinkish purple, and that is called Purple Posy. You can see a lot of it here. And then the dark green, greenish blue, is called Pretty Peacock. And actually that was my favorite one, but I do not even have a sample of any of that Pretty Peacock in the cards that I'm going to show because I have lots of samples. Anyways, these are the new ink pads, and you're going to want to get your hands on all of them. Really fun colors. Okay, so let me pull that out of the way for a minute, and let's go to the computer because I want you to see. Oops, hang on. Technical difficulties. We're gonna make my little picture of me smaller. There we go. Okay, so here we have the measurements and supplies that you will need for the project today. You can take a screenshot of that if you'd like to. I'll go through them in just a minute, but I do want to mention that again, this is a Facebook Live So you are joining with me right now. You're live with me. If you see it afterwards, after 11 a.m. on June 3rd, then you're watching probably the recording of it either on Facebook or YouTube. Don asked if we could order Purple Posy yet. I do not believe so. So Purple Posy, the ink, has had some issues, and so that color will not be available right away, but they will fix it. I know they will. Ooh, it's hot and sunny in Cave Creek, Arizona. Hi, Diane. Nice to see your name pop up. Okay, so again, beauty of live is being able to interact. So post your comments, your questions, tips, things that I don't mention or whatever. If I don't catch them live, I promise that I do read them afterwards. Although I have to admit, it has been such a busy weekend getting ready for the garage sale that I have not read most of the comments from last week's Wednesday video, but I promise I will. I promise. If I click like on it, that means I read it. I can't comment on all of them because sometimes they take me forever. There was a day where I spent the entire day commenting on one of my videos, on as many comments as I could. And I'm serious, it was the whole day because there's like a delay. I don't know why, but when you reach a certain number of comments, there's a delay in getting it to post, and I was sitting there going, come on, post my comment. So anyways, oh, there's Oak Park, Minnesota again. Hi, Deborah, nice to see your name. And there's Yara. Good, nice to see some names pop up. I love it. Okay, I'm delaying. I'm just getting all social today. So let's look at the computer here. You can see that we're going to use some new colors. Seaside Spray is the main one. I'll be using that with Whisper White cardstock and with the silver metallic edged ribbon. It's my favorite. I'll show you some samples with the new In Color, I forget what kind of ribbon they call it. Let me grab it. The scalloped linen ribbon. Hold it up here so you can see it. There we go. I tried some samples with the new ribbon that's in all the In Colors, and I just wasn't as excited about it. I'll show you those later. But anyway, so yeah, we're sticking with some of my favorite ribbon. And then we're going to use the Floral Essence Stamp Set, and we're using 2 ink colors that are new, the Terracotta Tile and the Seaside Spray. All right, so let's go back and get down to the desktop here. There we go. So here's the Floral Essence Stamp Set. Now when you look at it, you can see that there's this fun little design here. It kind of reminds me of one of those windmills. But when you stamp it twice and punch it out and layer them, you get a flower, obviously. And so we're going to make a flower with that image. We're going to use a couple of the words in, well, one of the words is in the sample, and then the other one we're going to stamp is the blissful future. These stamps are totally clear, which are photopolymer stamps. And I recommend those for this style of card that we're going to do because we're going to stretch your cardstock, or your designer paper, I should say. So you have a square piece of designer paper and we're going to make it stretch. I got the idea. Let me first, I'm going to grab this and not show you. I got the idea. Well, I've seen this kind of style done before, but then Laura Villardo sent me a card in the mail, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta show that again. That is so awesome. So let's start by cutting our cardstock and our Woven Threads designer paper. So you're gonna need, the cardstock base is gonna be the Seaside Spray, so we'll start with that. We're gonna cut it in half, and we're gonna go this way in half. So we're gonna insert it this way, and this is 11 inches here, so we wanna cut it at 5.5 inches. Now the trimmer, if you're new to my videos, the trimmer is retiring, so I didn't list it with capital letters on my supply list because I don't recommend getting it at this point. This is the last day you can actually get it, but I don't recommend getting it because you cannot get refill blades as easily as we used to when the trimmer first came out. We're having issues with the supplier, and the blades are in high demand, so don't get this paper trimmer at this point. Hey Barb, this is the first time you're catching me live. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, so there is our folded card base. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the measurement there is 4.25 inches because half of 8.5 is 4.25, and that's how you get the base for the card. We're gonna still use this piece. We're gonna stamp and punch with it, so I'm not gonna put that all the way aside. Then we need a white layer, okay? So we're going to cut this one at 5 1/4 inches. We're going a little bit shorter. We're going 1/4 of an inch shorter. And we're going to slice it, so 4 1/4 inches. And we're going to go 1/4 of an inch shorter here. So instead of 4 1/4, we're going to 4 inches. And that's going to be the top layer of our card. And then we're going to need one piece for the inside. So we're going to cut that at 3 inches by 4 1/4. Okay, now that we have those pieces, we're going to cut the designer paper. And the designer paper, as you see, it comes in the 12 by 12 size. It's pretty large. You get 2 sheets of each, so you get 12 sheets of paper total. Lots of different patterns. So we're going to cut it to 4 by 4. And we're also going to cut another one for the inside to 3 by 3. Okay. Then the last thing that we'll need to do is stamp on our scrap of Seaside Spray. This is a really pretty blue, by the way. It's soft. It's on the cool side. It has a little bit of a purplish tone to it. So very, very relaxing blue to look at. Let's grab our stamps, and look what I did this time, you guys. I put my stamps on top of my Stampin' Pierce mat, so I would remember to use it. All right, we're gonna stamp onto our scrap with, which color are we using? We're using the Seaside Spray on Seaside Spray. We're gonna use tone on tone. I'm gonna zoom in a bit here. Okay, so let's open it up. And if you're new to stamping, these pads just open just like a compact. You just lift them up like that. Slide them into the base if you wish, you don't have to. And we're just gonna press down onto our ink pad. You don't have to press really hard on firm foam ink pads that Stampin' Up! Has. These are really squishy, so you just need to tap, pick up the ink, and stamp. And with this stamp, I know to turn it so that I have 2 petals at the base, because I'm going to turn my punch over and punch it out this way. And if I have 2 petals at the base, it's going to be a lot easier for me to grab that image and punch it out. In fact, you know what? I'll do a mistake, and I'm going to turn one this way just to show you that it's a little bit tougher to punch that one out. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to slide it in. You just line it up like that. Punch upside down, right? Hey, Pam from Michigan. Okay, now if I put the punch in this way, you can see it gets really hard unless I'm on a corner. And see, even if I'm on a corner, I sometimes can't jam it in all the way. I'd have to take my paper snips, cut off a corner of my cardstock to grab that image. So always look to see, if you're going to be stamping something that coordinates with a punch, look to see beforehand how that punch is going to insert into your paper before you actually do the stamping part. Okay, we don't need that anymore, so we'll put that aside. And we do need this. We're going to keep that. I have 2, well, I have several, but I have, oh, I've got light issues in my room. It's so awesome. Lighting is always an issue. This light is flickering on and off. Oh well. Okay, so I have 2 mats that I use all the time, and this one I labeled Do Not Pierce or Cut because I used to have this one in my classroom, and I didn't want people poking holes in it, because the Stampin' Pierce mats are also great for if you wanted to poke holes into your project to insert brads or whatever. So I have one for piercing and one for stamping. Okay, the light's back on. Let's take our bone folder now and fancy up this flower. I think I'm gonna fold or curl the petals going back. So you're just gonna hold it right in the middle with your thumb, and you take and put your thumb against your bone folder and curve the actual bone folder to create the curled petals. I'm looking at a question here. Any issues with photopolymer and heat? It gets hot in Georgia. I don't think so, because you're stamping separately from when, oh, I see what you're saying. Like with hot, I don't know. That's a great question. I mean, if you have like no air conditioning, or your house gets like 100 and 110 degrees, maybe, yeah, then you might have an issue. I don't know. Somebody who lives in a hotter area, let us know if that is something that you know about. I know that you're not supposed to leave them in the sun. That can sometimes break down the composition. Photopolymer stamps are not as sturdy as rubber stamps, but they are awesome to stamp with, and they're cheaper. Sorry I didn't answer your question, Lori. I'd like to know, so someone answer her, okay? Good morning, Kathy. How are you? Awesome. So here is our flower, and you can see it looks like it's just kind of curled like a boat right now, but when we press it down, those petals are going to have that three-dimensional look without looking like a boat, if that makes sense. Okay, so we have that done. Let's now take our trimmer again, and we're going to do some diagonal cuts. So this is the part where I said we're going to stretch our cardstock. So our cardstock right now is not going to, cover this whole piece of white. So here's a really fun thing that you can do, okay? You can take, no problems in Florida, thanks Faith. You can take and cut your cardstock in half, and we're gonna cut it at at a diagonal, because it makes it more, I don't know, exciting. It's an exciting card that way. So we're gonna put this corner and this corner on opposite sides of the channel that we're going to cut in. This top one's going to be on that side at the 1 1/4 inch mark, and this one's going to be on this side at the 1 1/4 inch mark. So you just kind of have to like follow the lines of your paper trimmer. So here's the 1 1/4 inch mark there, and the other one is on this side right up there. Okay, so we slice, and we have our stretched out piece of designer paper. We stretched it. We're going to do that same angle on this one, and instead of trying to figure out where that angle would be equally, I'm just going to lay this down on top of it like that, pull this piece away, and give it a good slice. Okay, that's the trick I have for you there. Way less math, right? And Chris is excited for the punch. It's a fun punch. It really is. I wonder how many people are going to think outside the box with it and do something totally, totally different than a flower. I mean, windmill. There you go. You could do a windmill. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick just a slight amount of adhesive. Where did it go? Oh, it's over here. Sorry. I'm going to stick a slight amount of adhesive on the back side of each of these. And I'm going to lay them down and do my stamping. And the reason why I'm not going to put tons of adhesive on now is because if I make a mistake, I want to be able to flip this Whisper White piece over. Oh yeah, I need this. So I'm putting it on my Stampin' Pierce mat. Those of you that are new to stamping, red rubber stamps, which look like this, already have a cushion of foam between the actual rubber and your block when you're using it. But photopolymer stamps do not. They are flat against the block. And so that's why the Stampin' Pierce mat is recommended, because it gives that cushion and allows the stamp to have a more even image when you stamp on it. Dana's answering the question about the heat too. She lives in West Central Florida, and she says you keep your stamps in a climate-controlled room. Okay, and keep your air on even when you go on vacation. So my question is, what if somebody doesn't have air conditioning? I didn't have it when I was growing up, although I think that was the majority of people back then too. All right, let's take our Terracotta Tile Ink Pad. This is great, you guys. We're educating each other. So Terracotta Tile is that reddish orange color. So again, you just tap lightly, and you can see the ink getting onto your stamp. The great thing about the photopolymer with this technique is you can see where you're going exactly, and when you stamp this down, you're not worried about any tilting. Now I'm going to lay my flower where I want it to be, and then I'm going to go ahead and stamp. And if I like it, I don't have to take my designer paper and put it on the back side. This one moved a little bit on me, but that looks good. That looks good. So now I can go ahead and take these and add them a little bit better with the snail. Snail adhesive too, for those of you that live in Florida or other humid areas like Minnesota. We get pretty humid here with our summers because we are the land of 10,000 lakes, you know. So the humidity here gets pretty intense sometimes. And snail adhesive sometimes has issues in humid weather. My friend Allison, she's getting ready for her son's graduation party, and she's using snail to adhere pictures onto her photo board for her child, well, her grown child. And so what we did is we took and rubbed, so we just rubbed, not with a bone folder because we didn't want to damage the photos, but we took like a cotton cloth and rubbed all of her photos harder against the photo board, and they're holding now. So if you live in a humid area, this is always a good thing to do. Even if you don't live in a humid area, just, you know, really make sure that you're burnishing, they call it, burnish that cardstock. Okay, next piece. We're gonna wait on this one. Let's take out our ribbon now. So, all right, we've got ribbon, and I estimated on my measurements, I hope I was right. I said 7 inches. Let's see if we're, if we were right. Because I wasn't, oh, it's about 6.5. That's pretty good. 6.5 to 7 inches, okay? All right, so we'll need that, and then for the smaller one, we need, and again, I might have had my measurements off, but I think I said 5 inches. Hey, I really guessed well on that one. There we go. So we're gonna need 2 7-inch ribbons and 1 of the 5. So let's just cut 1 more of these. Remember to have 2 different scissors, you guys. One that you designate only for ribbons and fabric, because that way that scissors will stay sharp. Paper will dull your scissors over time. Let's grab our tear and tape adhesive. This is the way the tear and tape adhesive comes when you get it. I've used a lot. But I'll tell you, Sharon Harris, a gal who's in our Stampers with Art group, she swears by, that's all she uses, she says. So she's going to be really proud of me with this card. So the next step is to use lots of tear and tape adhesive. We're going to make a little strip going across the top and bottom of our window area, I guess you would call it, of our card. So we're just setting some tear and tape here. And on the cards that I'm going to show you with the In Color ribbons, I put the tear and tape directly on the ribbon, but sometimes it's easier just to put it on the cardstock, okay? Hey Chris, glad that you were able to join. Better late than never, right? So now we peel this off. And my fingernails are working pretty well today because I don't have polish on anymore, you guys. I think I'm gonna take a really long break from polish because my fingers are feeling, even though they don't look good, they feel good. So, I don't know. I'm even considering selling my fingernail polish stuff, my gel stuff in my garage sale. What do you think of that? All right, so we're gonna tape the back side here, fold these over like that, just to hold them in place. And then we're gonna tack this down onto the front of the card. And with tacking it down onto the front of the card, because you have a little bit of a lift here from those ribbons, we're going to tack it down with more tear and tape adhesive. I just think it's gonna look nicer if we do that. So let's add 1 long strip to each side here, and then through the middle, if you wanted to add more adhesive, you could do your snail. So we'll just go like this. And now we've really slathered on the adhesive to make sure it's gonna hold really well. Okay, and if you don't have good fingernails, this is a great tool. This is the Take Your Pick tool. It actually comes with lots of stuff like the pokey part, the pokey part. And then you got a spatula end. So we want to use this end though. I find this is easier for me to do my tear and tape release paper removal. Okay, so let's add this now to the front of our card. Like that. Thanks, Heather. She's already telling me my card is beautiful and it's not even done yet. Thank you. I'm gonna zoom in just, oops, I'm gonna zoom in just a tad here because I feel like it's kind of far away when I set it on my table. All right, next we're gonna add our flower. And the flower, because we put dimension on it, I really, really recommend putting it on with glue dots. If you only have tear and tape adhesive, you could put a tiny little strip back there because that's really strong too. So Michael says her fingernails are ragged too. I know. It's, you know what though, I think overall it's healthier if I don't, but it's also, it takes up time, you guys, to make my fingernails match my paper pumpkin kits every month. So anyways, I don't know, maybe I'll just do it for special occasions. Thank you for all the healthy comments. You guys have mentioned that in past videos too, and I love that a lot of you are saying just go natural. Love it, love it. Okay, this piece here we're going to work on in just a second, but let's go ahead and add a little bit more bling to the front of this card because it's not quite blingy enough for me. So we're going to use this stuff called Faceted Dots in the 2019 through 21 in colors. And I've already got them used up a little bit here. They're sliding around. So we're going to grab one of these big ones. And you can just pick them up with your finger or with the spatula end of the take your pick tool. And we'll just put one of those in the middle of our flower like that. And it just adds a little tiny sparkle there. Can you see that? Okay. Then we're going to open it up. And instead of putting just a basic white layer on the inside, which is my go-to, we're going to do a fun little pocket. This idea was inspired by one of the projects that my tutorial group does every month. And this month, the June projects are all featuring fun ways to hold gift cards in, whether it's like a card or a 3D type of thing. So this angled look here was on one of the projects in that tutorial bundle. The card is completely different, but this card little angle cut here was inspired by one of the gals who did a project in that. To make the pocket for a gift card, I highly recommend using a very strong tape for all three sides of your pocket. Not the top, of course, because you've got to be able to stick something in there. Thanks, Belinda. But for definitely the bottom and the two sides. And the skinnier the tape, the better. So that way you have a nice, strong, skinny hold on each side. If it's a thicker tape, it makes less room for your gift card to be able to get in there. But this pocket is big enough. So for those of you that have fingernails, this is what you do. You just take and rub the little end of your take your pick tool like that, and it pulls the release paper off. And I noticed I got a little long here, so I'm just going to fold those two ends back over. Now don't just stick this down flat, okay? You're going to need to have your gift card with you. And where are mine? Here they are. I have a ton of them. I save them up. So when I use up a gift card, I just throw it into my little gift card bag here, and that way I can make little matchy-matchy fun, fun projects. So Costco, I don't know, do all of you have Costco around where you're at? This is a great place to shop for bulk items. We are members of Costco. So I'm going to put that inside this card, which would be awesome for like a wedding, wishing you a blissful future. So that will be the gift card that this person gets. So here's the steps. You got your tape on the back. You're going to line it up with the bottom portion of the white. And before you press down all the way, you're going to put that card in there, making sure that the bottom's tight, but not the sides yet. And then you're going to push down on one side at a time just to get that little edge there. That way your pocket is still, you can still get it in. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to have it real tight, flat down. You want to have a little bit of a bubble in there, which is what this gift card is forming. I hope that makes sense. Oh, good. You're always looking for gift card ideas. Thank you so much, Carol. So again, if you are interested, you can get the tutorials for free by placing an order in my online store, or placing an order with me directly. You can contact me if you want. Stamp your art out at comcast.net. Or if you know one of the other demonstrators that is in that tutorial group, you can order through them and you'll get the tutorial free. You can purchase the tutorial. We sell all of our tutorials. Every month we have a new tutorial, and you can purchase them directly from us. They're $9.95. Or you can be in one of our groups. So all the demonstrators that have ever signed up with me and are active still get my tutorials free every month. So now we've decorated that fun little pocket like that. This piece, of course, we want to carry over that look. We want to have the same look. Oh, I'm so glad this ran out. Okay, so this ran out of tape because I just got notice from one of my customers. They keep buying the full snail. And that's probably because that's what I mention when I list my products in my supplies on my blog pages or my blog posts. I always list the full snail, but we have snail refills too. So what you do is you push in the bottom button and you push in the top button at the same time. There's little, they're kind of like oval or, I don't know, they're ovally looking black buttons there. And you just push those in and you pull this off. And then you grab this puppy and you open it up. They come out pretty easily. You remove this little piece here, and then you don't even have to hold on to those buttons anymore. You just put it on top like that and you snap it in place. And now you have a new one ready to go. Here's the cover, the cap, so you just pull that back. I feel so bad that that person keeps buying she kept buying it. So sorry about that, for those of you that did not know that. All right, and then for our inside pocket, again, I would recommend putting it on with the tear and tape, at least on the two sides here, because you're going to be, pulling at that layer when you put in and take out the gift card. So you'll want to make sure that that's really strong inside your card. Let's go ahead and add just a little snail there too. I think I used all the products that I was going to use that I listed. Sometimes I forget to use my bone folder, but I did use it on the flower. But this is another good thing that a bone folder does. It helps to crease your cardstock. I always forget to do that until after. It's raining in Iowa, Glenda. I'm sorry. Thanks, Vicky. All right, so now we can just set this right inside, and you don't even have to write anything unless you want to. You could write something maybe here. You could sign your name. Oops, sorry. You could sign your name there, or you could write it off to the side on this side. But for those of you that don't like to write a lot, this is the perfect card. You just give them a little cash. So wishing you a blissful future. Let me show you some other samples. Toss these puppies out of the way. Now, again, my other samples do not include any of the pretty peacock color. It's my favorite of all of them. Okay, let me zoom out just a tad here. Okay, so you can see all of them. Now, this is the flower color that I was going to use, but I thought it was a little harsh on this designer paper, so I ended up just going with the blue. So this is the second one. It's exactly the same except for the words. They're different words. It's a different sentiment from the same stamp set. So there's that. And on the inside, I have a different gift card. Okay, and this one here I think would be for a birthday, the way I did that. I also I forgot to put adhesive underneath the ribbon here, and it's kind of like it could get caught up on something, so that's why I decided to do the tear and tape adhesive across there. So I recommend that. Now in this next one, I was playing around with the flowers for a while. The pretty, what's it called? Purple posy color of flower though, even though I was doing like the terracotta tile and the terracotta tile stamped off, it just was not working against this paper because I think it was too much purple. So we went with the pink color, which is the Rococo Rose. And I think this one looks stunning. This is another wedding or graduation type card. And again, I'm so excited that I have gift cards that kind of match. So we'll put those like that so you can see all of those. And then I have a few more. Now these are done without that pretty ribbon, my pretty ribbon. Thanks, Shannon. I love the blue too. But I actually love both of them, but this one's very feminine. So I can see this one like, being attractive to less people. This blue it tends to be more of a universal color, I think. So now I used a different stamp set. In this one, I used the stamp set that was made to go with the Woven Threads designer paper, and it is called Woven Heirlooms. But the issue with that was the rubber, the red rubber stamp. I did just adhere my designer paper with a little bit of adhesive, stamped it down, but I had to flip it over. I had to flip it over because it didn't line up well. So just a warning, it's a little harder to use those red rubber ones. Now if you have the Stamp-A-Majig, if you have the Stamparatus tool or the old Stamp-A-Majig, you know, any kind of stamp positioner, that would aid you in getting these cards, the images positioned right. But I like this little dot, dot, dot look. I didn't use the flowers on that. This is the new ribbon that matches the In Colors. This is in the Terracotta Tile color because Terracotta Tile and Rococo Rose are both in there. And then I layered it onto Rococo Rose cardstock. And then the background, because I wanted a dark and a light color in there, I used Early Espresso cardstock back here with Early Espresso ink. And there's no pocket on the inside. But that was my neutral color, was the Rococo Rose. So there's a fourth card. Oh, let me show you the woven heirloom set. So this is what the woven heirloom set looks like. So lots of sentiments in there and a few fun little pattern designs. Then on this next card, I had to pull out the stamps from my paper pumpkin kit, from the May paper pumpkin kit, Hugs from Shelley, because that sentiment is just gorgeous, the thank you in there. So here's another one done pretty much the same way, except I didn't use a real dark color in there. I wanted the color in the middle of the ribbon to show through, so I used the crumb cake color for the background. This is stamped in Terracotta Tile, and then the purple is the purple posy. I know, it's a whole mixture of the In Colors. Crazy, right? So better late than never, Marilyn. Yes, and you can always, the beauty of these Facebook lives is that they're live, but then they stay recorded so you can go back and watch later. And again, no pocket on the inside of that one, but I was playing around. We'll put that one down here. Okay, then this one, I went back to the dark Early Espresso, and I loved that paper, the blue paper. I added this color here because the Terracotta Tile is in little bits and pieces in the designer paper, so I added that in there. I had crumb cake be the neutral color. I've got the Seaside Spray Blue faceted dots in there, and this one did have a little pocket on the inside. So there's that, and then I'll show you the card that inspired the whole direction that I took. This was, again, by Laura Velardo. She used that wonderful designer paper from the Celebration selection, which coordinated with our butterfly punch. She's got some Wink of Stella on there, some of the old faceted dots from Share What You Love collection, I think it. No, I don't remember what it is. Not Share What You Love, that's not what it's called. But we had some black little faceted dots in something. I think that's what that's from. Although those could be the old black rhinestones from a long time ago, but this is, again, that designer paper. It was a 4x4 piece, cut at an angle. So thank you, Laura, for that inspiration. So there we go. We have some prizes. Are you guys ready for prizes? Thank you for all your nice comments. Last week's prize was a mini version of the Hugs from Shelley Paper Pumpkin Kit Stamp Set, and it does include that thank you. And I'm also throwing in there, just in case it's, somebody's new or they just need one more clear block, a clear block with that. So this is kind of a little paper pumpkin-y prize. So that's from the last week's video. And then for this week's video, for today's, the two winners, the one that we pick today and the one that we pick the next time I broadcast, each of you will get some retired product, but really great stuff for making the same kind of card. These are huge rhinestones that we used to carry, a whole sheet of them, and then some beautiful ribbon that we used to carry. And okay, so I have to tell you, I'm going through all of my stuff, getting ready for the garage sale. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have all of this packaged stuff that's like in new condition, never been used, never been touched. So some of it became prizes, like today. So this is our old Whisper White, and it's called stitched satin ribbon. Beautiful stuff. I could see this totally being used on a card like this. So those are going to be the prizes for this video. All right, let me make sure I've caught everything. I'm going to look at my notes here. Thank you, you guys. Let's see. Sharing on my blog on Saturday, June 8th. Today is the last day to get retiring products, just in case some of you are taking off right now, but you'll want to stay for the prize drawing. New products are available no later than noon tomorrow, June 4th. In fact, you might get peeks. If you're online, you might get peeks of some stuff being shared by demonstrators on the South Pacific side of the globe, because Australia, Japan, New Zealand, they're going to be getting their stuff any minute. The stores are going to be opening any minute for them. So awesome. And I think that's it. So if there's anything in the online store that you want that's retiring, you'll want to get that today. And we're going to draw from May 29th's video. So let me put you on my computer. First, let me grab that screen so you can see the drawing happening. Okay. Oops, hang on. There we go. All right. All of the products on the it's on your to buy list. Oh, Janine. Last chance, I think, is what she's talking about. Yeah, well then you got to put in a big order today, I guess. All right, so we're gonna go to the video section here. By the way, do you guys like my Stampin' Up shirt? I'm wearing my Stampin' Up shirt today. Okay, let's go to our video collection here, and we're gonna go to, let's do a refresh, and then we'll click on the Easy Colored and Glittered Acetate broadcast from last week. Here we go. We'll grab that link and go into our comment picker. And let's see how many people we have that are going to get a chance at this drawing. We had 168 comments on that one. So we're going to do a little drawing here. Hopefully, now I want to tell you guys that if you don't contact me, I might not be able to contact you. Debbie Wickland. Ah! Debbie Wickland won. So I am going to click on her name, and it might not go directly to her. This has been an issue lately. It hasn't been pulling up the actual comment that person is making anymore. Yeah, see, she's not showing up there. So anyways, get a hold of me. You guys need to reach out to me. And I'm going to give it 2 weeks because I seriously have some prizes that have been sitting here. 2 people have not claimed their prize. I don't know how to reach them. Maybe if you guys know how to reach these people, you can let them know. All right, the next one. We're going to do a refresh now. Is everybody ready? Okay, so we're going to do a refresh. And anyone who's commented from this point on is in on the drawing for this time. We will draw again the next time I broadcast. In fact, let's do a comment picker, a new one, just in case. Okay, so let's put that in here. How many comments do we have to choose from this time? I forgot to tell you guys that when you share and you comment that you shared, you don't have to have a conversation with me. You don't have to have me get to know you personally, but just say one little thing and you'll get in on the drawing, I promise you. 105 of you commented during this video. Oh, thank you so much. We'll click the start button to see who today's winner is. Today's winner is Lisa Johnson, and she's from Wisconsin because it says in her comment, good morning from Wisconsin. So yay, Lisa. You get, oh, maybe it's going directly to her comment this time. It works with the live. That's what's happening, you guys. It works with the live. It pulled up. Okay, well, I'll be able to contact people from the live comments. It's just, it's not working with the non-live comments. Bummer. Maybe we'll only be able to pick live winners. Well, anyways, we'll just keep trying this for a while, but reach me within 2 weeks of you winning the prize. Otherwise, I have to throw it back into the bin. Okay, let's go back to me. Hi. So congratulations to our prize winners. The next time I broadcast is actually up in the air. It may be next week. It may not. We have some stuff that I'm juggling right now. Well, I'm not actually juggling. I'm waiting to hear if my mom is going to be healthy for surgery next week. And so she'll be fine. It's just I want to be there for her if she's going to have it. And she caught a cold. So it may be postponed at this point. So there's a 50-50 chance right now that I will be live next week. If she has to reschedule it, I will be live. If she doesn't, then, and you're not, if you guys don't see me come on live next week, it's because I'm with my mom and Dad. But otherwise, for sure, June 19th. And June 19th will be at 10 a.m. It's going to get crazy, you guys. My schedule is not going to be as consistent. But we're sticking with Wednesday, June 19th at 10 a.m. And 10 a.m. an hour earlier because my son, one of my sons, is in a band camp next week. And at 11 a.m., I'm going to be in the car. So, all right. Thanks, you guys, for coming and joining in. I hope that you enjoyed those cards that I shared today. And I think that's it. So now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye, everyone.